What's going on? Today's topic is HUD homes. So if you're looking to break into the HUD home market as an investor, or maybe you're looking to buy your own fixer-upper to house hack, this video will walk you through the steps of what you'll need to know and what information you'll have to give your agent. So make sure you watch it all the way to the end. Also like, comment below, and I'll answer any questions you might have. So as always, thanks again for checking out our videos, and here we go.
Alright everyone, so like I was saying in the beginning of this video, I've had a lot of questions asked about bidding on HUD homes and how to do it and where to go. So first things first, if you're not a licensed real estate agent, you can't bid on HUD homes yourself. You have to find a realtor in your area that is approved through HUD to bid on the homes. And that's easy enough as just calling the local real estate office or broker's office and asking if anybody in that office has any experience with bidding on HUD homes. And then they can put the bids in for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the research yourself, so you know what homes you want to bid on, and then it's just finding the agent that'll bid on these homes consistently for you. And one side note, when you're working with an agent, they're going to tell you they need more, like 10% down, sometimes stuff like that, 2, 3, 4% down when you're bidding on these homes. It's not true. One really important thing you need to remember, that if the house bid is accepted and it's $50,000 or less, it's $500 for a deposit. It's non-refundable in most cases. If it's $50,000 or $1, it's a $1,000 deposit. So bidding on these homes, that's the most money you can lose if you're trying to wholesale these properties. When you're wholesaling these properties, you're going to have to use transactional funding. So you will have to close with HUD first before you close with your end buyer. So you'll be doing a back-to-back closing, which is great because you can do that with HUD homes as long as you buy it as an investor. There's no seasoning that you have to worry about when it comes to the title. So that being said, I will put a link in the show notes below as to where you can get the transactional funding, and also the HUDhomestore.com website, and any other pertinent information that I think might be relative to your success in bidding on these HUD homes. Now remember, you have to bid on these HUD homes every day. For the most part, that's what I do, or at least every couple days. And one other note before we get started in the search, also remember that once you have a bid accepted, you have 48 hours to get them the purchase and sales contract, the bank check, and everything like that, and all the documents and addendums signed and overnighted to them. So if you are new to this, or you might think you might be out of town for a couple days if you're bidding on some properties and you have to go on a vacation or something, what I would suggest to try to do is bid on a Thursday or Friday, because then they have to give you the weekend before you have to get all the paperwork in. So that's kind of what I do. Sometimes if I know I'm going to be really busy, I put most of my bids in on Thursday and go from there. But again, you can bid any day of the week, as you'll see on here. And I hope this helps. I hope you're able to wholesale a few of these properties or buy some fix and flips yourself. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave that below. So let's get started. So the first place you want to go to is your HUDhomestore.com. That's right up here. That's the website. That's the only website you can buy HUD homes from. Now, if you are just a regular average person looking to get information, you're not a real estate agent, you're not set up through HUD to bid on homes, you can just sign up for an account. And they also do have an iPhone and Android app if you want to browse from your phone. Then once you get signed in, you can start viewing properties. Now, if you don't want to set up an account, you can still view properties. I just like having the account because I can save certain listings that are on here. So you can pick whatever state you're in. I'm in Connecticut, so we're going to go with Connecticut. Buyer type, you want to make sure you put investor, because it's only going to show properties that are open to investor and not like people that are going to live there on their own, or a good neighbor, or a fresh start program, or anything like that. So you want to type in the county, unless you want to search your whole state. I'm actually, yeah, we'll do Holland for now. I like to do 2+ bedrooms. You can do whatever you want. Obviously, if you just leave it at any, it's going to pull everything up, and 1+ bathroom. And then you hit the search button. And this will bring everything up in that county. So if you are not an agent and you're looking to bid on these homes, the information you want to give your agent when you call them, you want to give them the property case number, which would be this number right here. For my area, it starts with 061, and I would say, hey, listen, I want to put in a bid for this property case number, and I want to bid X amount of dollars. Now, you don't need to give a deposit check every time you bid. It's only when your bid is accepted. So I like bidding on HUD homes as opposed to like Fannie Mae or anything like that, because those you need full blown packages and it takes a lot longer. This is a lot easier and there's a ton of inventory, so why not make it a little bit easier on yourself? So here's one in Stafford Springs. This one has been on the market because they've dropped the price, so that's good for us. So it's down to $42,000, and so you click on the link and it brings you up. When you click on the case number, it brings you to the property information. Here you can just click on the photo, and you can go through the photos and you can kind of see, based on the photos, what kind of work the property is going to need. Most of them need paint and carpet. This one looks like it has hardwood floors that could probably be redone. It's going to need, looks like newer windows here, but when I went through some of the other pictures, it looks like the older windows. So you're probably going to need some windows. You'll probably get away with painting the cabinets, depending on how much money you want to put into these things. Now, you can make these things what they call rental ready. So you're looking at carpet, paint, making sure all the systems work, and then selling it that way at a discount. So you're still selling it for more than what you would probably get on a wholesale deal, but you're not putting it on the top of the market because the whole thing hasn't been rehabbed. So now if you're going to wholesale this property, you can wholesale it just as it sits. So once you get the bid accepted, like I said, you have 48 hours to get the contracts over, and then using those contracts, you have 30 days to close. So you have 30 days to find your buyer for these properties. So you want to go through, you want to make sure you take really good photos, really good video, and then market the crap out of it to find your buyer, whether you're using Craigslist or direct marketing, if you already have a buyer's list, that sort of thing. So you kind of got an idea of what the outside looks like. And let's see, that's pretty much it for the photos on this one. They didn't take a lot, nothing in the basement, anything like that. So this gives you all your property information, the address, number of baths, total rooms, how many square feet, year it was built, and if it's a condo, you have your HOA fees and stuff like that. Now, one of the things you want to look at is under the addendums, you want to find the PRC, Property Condition Report, which I've already downloaded. So this here gives you what a contractor has gone through or a home inspector has gone through and tested. So they'll test all the systems, they'll tell you if it's good or bad, and this will tell you exactly what needs to be fixed. Now, one good thing to notice is that the plumbing here, they pressure tested it. So they hook up a compressor, they fill the system with air to see if it holds at a certain pressure. If it doesn't hold, that means you're going to have leaks. Luckily here we don't have any leaks, so that's one thing that's really that shouldn't pop up. They can be troublesome if you have leaks in the wall and stuff like that. The last HUD property I had didn't pass a pressure test, and it had 7 small leaks that were easy to fix. It was just a matter of finding them. So that's really important to make sure you go through this, because then you kind of know what you're getting into, and you can use this information to tell your end buyer what they're going to be getting into. So once you go through that, the other thing you want to look at under property info is the listing information, and you can see here that it says insured and escrow, so that means less than $10,000, if I remember correctly, exactly is what is going to need to make it livable, and that it's 203K eligible. Some of these will say uninsured, and that means you're going to be doing like a lot more work. The property I bought last was uninsured, and it needed we had to do a ton of renovation on it, but in the end it still worked out to be a great deal. So that's some of the information you're going to see here. Now, if you're a first-time buyer, you're going to want to find a broker, somebody in your area. If you're already an agent, then they would just go through, they'd hit submit, and they put in all your information. And so they would put their login information. Once they logged in, they would have to know if you're buying it as a individual or in an LLC. They would need either your social or your EIN number if buying in an LLC, And then one of the things that's really important is that you don't ask HUD for any concessions. You're going to buy it all cash or hard money, and that it's not contingent on any inspections or anything like that. So the home is being bought as is. So keep that in mind. It's not like a regular purchase if you're purchasing it from another person, or a short sale where they might be able to throw some contingencies in there. So get out there. If you're going to bid on every home in the state that you live in, it's a lot harder to see every home. I would suggest starting with a smaller section, and like me in the Tolland County, there's not that many homes currently right now on the market. But if I was to go to, let's say, Harford County, you'll see that there'll be a lot more homes. And then what I would do is pick and choose maybe 10 that are relatively close by. You can do drive-bys, you can use Google Maps to make sure it's something you really want to bid on, because you don't want to lose that money. Now, let's say you're bidding on 3 or 4 properties and you get one, and then 2 weeks later another one shows up and you win. If you're not able to close on that one or wholesale it, you don't have to go any further. Your agent can just say, hey, listen, my client ended up buying another property, because sometimes it does take them a little while to make a decision. Now, if you see new, that pretty much means it just got opened up to not agents, but investors. So here's one in West Hartford, Connecticut, which is a pretty nice area. And you can see it's got the vinyl siding, replacement windows. It's got nice hardwood floors. They're going to want as close to what they can get for asking. They might come down maybe 3%, 4% if of a discount. The longer they sit, you can get these properties at 30, 60% of what they're asking for. It just you have to watch the properties and bid consistently. So again, this one here is insurable. They're asking 148. Let's just for ha-has go to Zillow. Now, I don't by any means think that you should use Zillow as an actual price of what the home is worth. You need to have a really good CMA done by a competent agent or broker. But here, if we go to Zillow, it'll tell us that it is pre-foreclosure value. Let's see here, our computer's running a little slow. All right, so it'll tell you that, it's not telling me on this one. So usually up here it tells you, it's for sale for 148, it's worth, 150. Let's see. So, here it is right down here. So they're saying it's worth 152, and you can rent it out for $1,500 a month. These I always find a little off, but it's a good guideline, and then your agent can tell you a lot more in depth about whether this is a good buy or not, and then just coming up with what you want to offer on it. I mean, one thing you got to remember is you're not going to get your first offer accepted unless you're giving them exactly what they're asking for. So, maybe I'd offer, 105 on this property because I know the area. It's West Hartford's a desirable area. It's 1,100 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. It'd also be a great rental because you're not going to have too large of a family in there with just being a 2-bedroom, putting that much wear and tear on the property. So that might be a good one to fix up and rent, or just do a fix and flip on it. But as you can see, it's not that hard for doing the searches on HUD homes. It's a lot easier than some people think. For example, let's say we wanted to go into Florida. Let's see what Florida has. So we want to do investor only, and let's just search. We'll do any bedrooms. So now, look, there's over 5 pages of homes in Florida. Obviously, Florida is bigger than Connecticut, but here you got some homes. Here's Jacksonville, Tallahassee. So let's look at this one in Jacksonville. This one's newer. And if you were down in the Jacksonville area, you would be able to bid on this. Now, here's something a little more advanced. You can do this virtually, I guess is the best way to put it. So I could be in Connecticut. I could bid on this home, and then I could market it down there on Craigslist once I reach an agent in that area and say, hey, listen, I like to bid on some HUD homes. Here's a list of the HUD homes I like to bid on. These are the prices. Give it to them in a spreadsheet and let them go to town bidding on it. And then basically, you can virtually wholesale those properties, and maybe I'll do a video on that in a little bit, but that's a little bit more few more steps involved. It's not really that much more technical. There's just a little bit more legwork you would have to do as the investor. But of course, my computer froze. So, or maybe it's just the HUD website froze. But anyways, like I said, the most important thing is the property condition report, which you can find under the addendums, and then use Zillow as a very loose guide as to what the property is worth. And then you can also see the surrounding areas if you do a street view. So those are things to keep in mind. Hopefully, this helps you guys with your investing career. If you guys have any questions on these properties or how to do it, and you need some help, please leave a comment below. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and concerns down there, and at least point you in the right direction, because there is plenty of this stuff on the market. So here's the home here that's for sale through HUD, and you can see it's a nice street view. Obviously this was taken last fall because it's springtime here in Connecticut, but you can see it's looks like a pretty quiet street. The yards are all taken care of. Nothing looks really dilapidated or anything like that. Looks like there might be a little multifamily right there. But I mean, this would be a good rental or a good fix and flip for your first one. You're not going to be putting that much work into it. Based on those pictures that we saw, maybe you're into it for 10,000 or less, and you make it rental ready and you put it on the market, 20% below value, and you're still into it for a good price. So the key is just constantly bidding on these properties, making sure you're working with a really good, competent agent, and there is money to be made. I work with an investor out of Springfield, and we bid on all the HUD homes in Connecticut, and he's in Springfield. Not that it's that far away, but we closed, I think, 6 HUD homes last year, and they were all wholesale deals. So it's great if you're an agent because you get paid on the front end. And you're not putting that much work into it. It's just your time bidding on them. And once you've bid on a few of these properties, you get a lot quicker at it. The first few times I did it when I first started, it took me a little while, but as I got it down, things move pretty quickly. So hope that helps everyone. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, like our channel, and until next time, have a good one.